Hello, Math 2 students. Today we're going to go over the 6.3 Day 3 notes in your packet. So for example 1, it says, decide whether the polygons are similar. If so, write a similarity statement and give the similarity ratio. So if we look at A, we can see that in this first one we've got 4 right angles. Okay, so this is clearly a square. And they show us that all the sides are equal, so again, square. And then if we look at this second polygon here, they show you that these angles are congruent and these angles are congruent, which implies that they are not right angles. So it's more like this is kind of a, this one's a rhombus, and this one's a square, right? Because this one has, it's like a square kind of on its side. So this means that they actually are not similar. If this guy had had right angles, we could have said, yeah, it's similar, because that would mean that it would be a square as well, and squares are similar. All right, so let's take a look at this one. For B, they did tell us that L and T are congruent, and they told us that M and P are congruent. So we actually could stop there and say that they are similar by angle, right? Because we've got these angles congruent, and we've got these angles congruent. That would give us angle, all right? You could also check that by doing the ratios. So let's go ahead, let's just check that for funsies here. So we could do 12 over 9. Why did I pick those two? I picked the biggest side from this first triangle, biggest side from the second triangle. Then we'll pick the next biggest side from this triangle, which is 8, over the next biggest side from this triangle, which is 6. Then we're going to pick the next biggest side from this triangle, which is 6 over 4.5. And when we plug that in, we get 12 divided by 9, which gives us 1.3 repeating. 8 divided by 6, which gives us 1.3 repeating. And 6 divided by 4.5, which gives us 1.3 repeating. Now, technically, we didn't need to do this check, because we already had it by angle, but I'm just kind of showing you again how to check those ratios. All right, next. So this guy has all the same angles. However, it's not a triangle. All right, think about rectangles, right? You could have rectangles that are not similar. So what we're going to do is we got that they're all right angles, so they could possibly be similar. But now we need to check the ratios. This one didn't work at all because the angles were different. Now we've got similar angles. Let's go ahead and check the ratios. So we're going to pick the biggest side from here, put it over this guy, so we could do 10 over 8. And then the next biggest side from here, which is 6, put it over 4. And when we do that, we get 10 divided by 8 is 1.25, and 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. So these are not similar because the ratios of the sides are not equal. All right, next one. So we're looking, there's for this one, again, we could just do angle because it's a triangle and we're allowed to do that. Notice how we were not allowed to use angle on the four-sided figures, but you are allowed to use angle on the triangles. But again, we can go ahead and confirm by checking the ratios. So let's go ahead, we'll do 15 over 10, and then we can do 12 over 8, and then we can do 9 over 6. So 15 divided by 10 gives me 1.5. 12 divided by 8 gives me 1.5. And 9 divided by 6 gives me 1.5. So again, we kind of confirm that with the ratios. So we could use angle. Oh, and we forgot to write similarity statements. Oops, that's okay. So let's go ahead, let's jump back to B here. We see that M and P go together. So we'll say triangle M, triangle P, and then we'll go over to this side. We get L, and we see that L and T go together. Then we've got N and O. All right, and then we'll try this next guy. We'll start with A and N. And then we'll go to that red angle, which would give us R and T. And then we're left with X and M. All right, awesome. Next, it says in the diagram at the right, parallelogram RSTU is similar to parallelogram LMNO. Find the scale factor from RST to LMNO. All right, so when you do scale factor, what you're going to do is you're going to do, when it says 2, you put this guy on top over this guy. So you do L, M, N, O over RSTU. And you put the corresponding sides together. All right? So what they mean by that is, we're looking here. We can see that ST and MN go together, right? Because they're both in the center of the similarity statements. So we can tell these are confirmed that they go together by the similarity statement. And we're going to do LMNO. So that means we're going to do the 2 over the 3. All right? So that is the scale factor to go from here to here. And basically what that means is when you do the scale factor, that's the number that you multiply the sides by to get the new sides. And we'll see that. Let's see. So now they want us to find the scale factor from LMNO to RSTU. So that's going to be RSTU over LMNO. The part that comes after the 2 goes on top. So we're going to do RSTU. So we could do the 3 over 2. All right. Now, one thing I want to point out. When we go from here to here, the image gets smaller. And the scale factor is less than 1. When we go from here to here, the image gets bigger and the scale factor is bigger than 1. That's important to note. Now they want us to find the length of NO. So that would be this guy here. Well, we know that since this is a parallelogram, UT is going to be 6. And we know that UT goes with NO based on the similarity statement. So we can use the scale factor to go from RSTU to LMNO, which is 2/3. So we're going to do 6 times 2/3, which gives us 12 divided by 3, which is going to give us a 4. And then they want us to find the measure of angle U. All right, so we know that this is 125. And if we kind of think back to what we did with quadrilaterals last unit, we know that these angles in a parallelogram are supplementary. All right, so we could do 180 minus 125. And we end up with 55. And then they want us to find the perimeter of LMNO. So if we're looking here, we did figure out that ON is 4. So we would know that based on the rules of parallelograms, this guy would be 4 and this guy would be 2, which is going to give us 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2, which is going to give us 12. Next, it says find the ratio of the perimeter of RSTU to the perimeter of LMNO. So first, they want us to find the scale factor. So, it tells us that we are going from here to here, right? So LMNO is going to go on top. But that's interesting because that doesn't go with... Oh, Okay, sorry. This still goes with example 2. I was like, what the heck? All right, so they want us to find the ratio of the perimeters to LMNO. So this one would be 3. So you would do 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3, which is going to give us 12, plus 6, which is going to give us 18. So we'll do 12 to 18, which we can reduce to 2/3. Which, notice, that matches the scale factor. Sorry, I didn't realize that F went with that. I was a little confused. All right. So next I want us to find the scale factor. And I don't like how it doesn't say from this to that. We'll say we're going to find the scale factor from triangle ABC to triangle PQR. All right. So that means that PQR is going to go on top. And let's see, let's pick a side. Let's do PR. And we're going to put that with AC. How did I figure out those go together? I picked the first and last from both triangles. So we've got PR and AC. Oh, just kidding. We can't use that. There's an unknown side. Let's pick another side then. That's funny. How about we'll do the hypotenuse here. So we'll do AB, which is the first two. It's going to go with PQ. All right. So we're going to put PQR on top. So we're going to do 25 over 10. And when I do that, I get 2.5. All right. So now it asks for us to find A. All right. So we're looking for this side. We've done this before, guys, where we're trying to figure out, an unknown. So this is CB, which we know is going to go with QR. All right. So we'll do the big triangle. We'll just put this one on top. We'll label this guy 1, triangle 2. And we'll do 15 over A equals, and then we have to pick a side that has both the actual numbers. So we'll do the purple side. So we'll do 25 over 10. And we're going to cross multiply, so we get 150 equals 25A. And that's going to give us 6. All right, so we know that this guy is 6. Then they want us to find B, so we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So we'll do P and R, which is the first and the last. So we get 20 over A and C. That's the first and the last, which is going to be B. That's what we're interested in. And then we'll set that equal to our 25 over 10. So we get 20 times 10, which gives us 200, equals 25B. Divide by 25, and you get B is 8. All right. Then they want us to find the ratio of the perimeters. So we'll do this triangle here. The perimeter is going to be 8 plus 10 plus 6, which is 24. And this one's going to be 25 plus 20 plus 15, which is going to be 60. All right. And notice we said we're going from ABC to PQR. So we'll do PQR first. So we'll do 60 over 24. 60 divided by 24 gives us 5 over 2, or 2.5. All right, and notice the scale factor is the same as the ratio of the perimeters. So if the two figures are similar, the ratios of the perimeter, the ratio of the perimeters are equal to the scale factor.